South Africa's G20 presidency is nearing its end on the 30th of this month, and the G20's Empowerment of Women's Working Group convened its final ministerial meeting in Kempton Park this week. The gathering leading up to the main G20 summit later this month brought together delegates from G20 member states, guest nations, and international organizations to advance global commitments towards gender equality, women's economic empowerment, and ending gender-based violence. The meeting was also expected to finalize the Empowerment of Women's Ministerial Declaration. However, it ended without a conclusion due to the reservations of Argentina on issues of gender equality.
Notwithstanding the progressive decision of leaders at the New Delhi Summit to establish the Empowerment of Women Working Group to promote, advance, and accelerate the empowerment of all women and girls and achieve gender equality, ministers in the meeting were unable to adopt a consensus declaration. It is indeed with deep regret and profound sadness that 2 years in a row, this working group has not been able to adopt a ministerial declaration, and in the main, due to one state.
The W20, the official engagement group of the G20 dedicated to gender equality and women's economic empowerment, which has been an integral part of the Empowerment of Women's Group, has expressed disappointment in the outcomes.
The issue of having worked so hard and then having come to the women's ministerial meeting and discovered that consensus wasn't reached on the declaration, as I said, is very disappointing. Hard work has happened, but not only that, a lot of emotional energy is put into this kind of work. And we've been doing it for 30 years, not even only 100 hours. For 30 years since the Beijing Declaration, we've been fighting for gender equality.
With no binding commitments agreed upon, the chairperson's statement reflects the deliberations and outcomes of the process. The UN's organization says while non-consensus poses a challenge, it remains hopeful and resolute on gender equality.
The issue is that we are seeing a regression, an attempt to take away the freedoms, to take away the rights, the enjoyments that women have achieved over time, and maybe replace that with very regressive, very negative values to replace what we have already achieved. So we are going to push back. We are not just only going to stand behind and play victim. We are not victims. We have come too far to go back.
The G20's key priorities for women's empowerment under South Africa's presidency have been focused on expanding women's financial inclusion, eliminating gender-based violence and femicide. As part of the last ministerial meeting, the Empowerment of Women's Working Group also held a side event on positive masculinity.
Positive masculinity is about behavior. It is also about accountability. It is also about advocating for men to take responsibility in our societies, in our families, in our communities, as well as in our workspaces.
The main message of the day was positive masculinity as a strategy and transformative pathway to equality and dignity. This sentiment was echoed by various members and guest countries during panel discussions.
When men and boys share care responsibilities, reject violence, and champion equality, societies become safer, healthier, and more resilient.
A huge thank you to South Africa within your presidency for highlighting this critical issue. As others have said today, men and boys have to play a role in achieving gender equality.
We strongly support the initiative to foster dialogue on positive masculinity, and we hope it will lead to concrete commitments to end gender-based violence and promote gender equitable norms that benefit all.
Zinzi Mani, SABC News.